What's going on, everybody? This is Wesley Brown from Mr. Wesley Brown, and you are watching the Brown Notes Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Today, we are jumping into, and I'm really going to focus on illegal immigration. Like, if you came in legally, you did your time, you did all the paperwork, you went through the process, cool. I'm cool with that. What I'm not cool with is illegal immigration. The illegal border crossing into the United States, whether it be from Texas, whether it be from Canada, whether you're being flown into the country from other countries. Yes, illegal immigration is a major problem with the economy. A lot of illegal immigrants take the jobs of the lower class, the lower wage jobs that pay like minimum wage, and this takes away from the people who are barely making it, but who are working hours upon hours just to pay, their rent, their bills, their mortgage. It's also keeping the low wage low because the companies have no reason to raise the minimum wage because they're getting people to work without having to raise the pay. So if you don't want to work and you're a citizen, cool. We got it illegal that'll do more work than you for half the rate. So we're going to jump right into this quick clip about the immigration issue and the economy.
And see many of those Democrats that when we had on earlier man on the street interviews talking about the border and illegal immigration being a top priority for them this election.
Well, I think rightly so. Look, it's no secret. I've been with you before, Steve, and I've made the point that America was founded by immigrants. We're a country of immigrants. 45% of the Fortune 500 corporations were started by immigrants. Keystone industries like agriculture, construction, manufacturing, they all rely on immigrant labor. Those are the facts. Unfortunately, another fact is that during the Biden administration, some 8 million people have crossed the border illegally. And if you look at that, that is equivalent to the populations.
Mind you, it was 8 million until the year up to the year of 2023. So now it's 24. So then there's more than 8 million. A lot of reports now say it's 12 million. So there's more and more still coming in and still being a detriment on our economy. Let's continue.
Of Rhode Island, Delaware, Vermont, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, and Alaska combined. Clearly, we have an issue on the border. That is a crisis. That is priority one. That needs to be fixed. I completely agree with Ambassador Sands that, there needs to be a way, and we need to have a leader who is courageous enough to call it as it is and be honest with the American people. We have to stop the bad actors. We have to put a system in place that allows those who are here to work, to help us grow our economy and to do good, a way to get in, and absolutely cut off those who are here to do us harm.
So yes, so the illegal immigration is an issue, and I think that's number two on the number one issues. And the first is the economy, and they both go hand in hand because the economy of people not being able to work, and a lot of these jobs are being taken by the illegal immigrants, and they're sending the money back to where they came from. So the money is actually leaving the United States, and we'll get into that in just a minute. This illegal immigration crisis started really ramped up when Biden and Harris took office. So before Biden and Harris took office, there was illegal immigration, but Trump lowered it down to one of his lowest points ever. And he lowered it down by putting pressure on Mexico for the border crossings, because Mexico was allowing people to come in and not stopping them, just letting them come in, whether they were criminals, whether they was bringing in drugs. They really didn't care. They was letting them all in. And Trump, during his previous administration, put tariffs on Mexico for 20%, forcing the Mexico government to actually do something about their border. And I got some. There you go. I'm not sure. Let me zoom in for you. I can zoom in. So I'm going to go ahead and read this. This is what I pulled up from the internet to prove what I just said. The Trump administration announced a new plan to increase tariffs on imports from Mexico. On June 10th, the United States will begin to implementing a 5% tariff, which will increase to 10% on July 1st, and then increase by an additional 5% each month after that, up to 25%. Back and forth went for a couple of days. Then Mexico gave in, and they stopped. Mexico was the second largest importer of goods into the United States. So you can imagine this tariff of putting 25% on goods would cost Mexico a lot, and it also would cost the U.S. a lot as well, because it will raise the prices in the U.S., which would probably make people not buy that item. So so it would have put a strain on the money coming out of the U.S. and going into Mexico. Of course, Mexico would not like that. Like I just said, Mexico, this is straight from CNBC. Mexico is the second largest importer of goods to the U.S. in 2018, according to the Office of U.S. Trade and Representative. The U.S. imported 346.5 billion goods from Mexico. Tax on that will go terrible for just $346 billion worth of goods coming from Mexico. So with that being said, majority of these legal immigrants are sending their money back home to where they came from to take care of their families, to take care of whatever they need to take care of, whatever that is, whatever that may be, whether it be food, whether it be drugs, whatever it is. It accounts for over $8.5 billion into 2022 alone. So that's $8 billion leaving the U.S. economy and going into wherever it's going. It's leaving. Here it is right here from Blaze Media on August 20th, 2004. The remittances from Texas to Mexico totaled $8.5 billion in 2022 alone. This money was taken from the Texas economy and pumped back into Mexico. So you can see here the money is leaving the U.S. and going into Mexico by the illegal immigrants. And again, Mexico agrees, which makes Trump drop the tariff threat against them. Because of this agreement, the illegal immigration during Trump's run dropped significantly. And I have a chart to show you soon. A lot of people, as far as the Democratic Party, believes that immigration won't hurt Kamala Harris in this election, and it most definitely will, being that it's a number 2 issue on people that was polled, with economy being number 1. Let me pull it up for you. Let me get her name real quick. I don't want to say it wrong.
Hochul.
Yeah, there we go. New Jersey Governor Hochul claims illegal immigration won't hurt VP Kamala Harris in the election because fewer immigrants are crossing now than under Trump, which is false. Like I said, in 2023, up till then, 8 million people crossed during their run, and another almost 4 million. I don't have it up here, but another couple million crossed. I don't have the exact number, but it was a couple million. Which I can show you her saying this herself so that everybody can hear it.
Today that it wasn't.
Are you worried the migrant crisis is going to hurt Kamala Harris?
We're going to be just fine because the number of migrants crossing illegally is lower today than it was under Donald Trump. I'm make sure everybody knows that.
Are you worried the migrant?
And you know, this of course is a lot. You can see the numbers right here. Donald Trump, and then their run, and you can see that you can see the massive jump. The first 100 days, Biden and Harris took 94 executive actions. And that allowed Mexico to open the door again to illegal immigration. So yes, it's less coming in this year, but that's less coming in this year from Mexico because they're coming in now through Canada. They're being flown in. Notice that the Cameroonians, they're being flown back into the U.S. when they were originally deported. And then now illegal immigrants have seen that it's easier to come in through Canada than Texas. So they're coming in through Canada, down into New York, and then spreading out. If they're not getting bussed in from Texas. And then Texas had closed their border to combat the illegal immigration, but the Biden administration sued Texas and forced them to open it back up and let people come back in, or keep coming in. This is a chart. I'm gonna try. There we go. Here's the chart. So the legal immigration into the U.S. As you can see right here, and then it had dropped to its lowest right before it transferred over to offices, and it went right back up. We have to push back against places like California, New York, like that. That's giving away money, free money to illegal immigrants. They're coming in there. They're getting on those states. There are sanctuary cities. Going there and getting housing, getting free housing, getting free money, while we taxpayers have to pay for ourselves and pay for them. Yes, here we go. So California, let me pull this up. I'm talking about California and New York. California just passed a bill that gives money, well, allows undocumented immigrants to be eligible for home loans. I think it's up to $150,000 on top of what Kamala Harris is giving them. On top of the $25,000 Kamala Harris is giving them. So it passed all the levels and is really just waiting to be signed. So once he signs it, if you are an illegal immigrant and you meet their qualifications, you are now eligible to get $150,000 for a home loan for a house in California. And mind you, right now they're having issues with housing in California, not because there's not enough housing, it's because they're coming in, they're taking these houses and they're turning them into illegal weed growing places where they're growing weed in these houses and then putting them on the black market and underselling the current weed stores in California and then taking it around the country. So they've been breaking in homes in California and taking their weed that they've grown themselves and confiscating it. It's just a misdemeanor in California, and really nothing happens to them for doing it. They just take it from them, and I'm sure they put it into their own supply, and so they can charge taxes on their weed sale, opposed to it being on the black market. The assembly this is a bill that they're talking about that passed, and it needs to be signed so they can get $150,000. It's Assembly Bill 1840. These make you eligible. These are the requirements to be eligible to get this. First time home buyer, first generation home buyer, and first time home buyer. So if you meet these guidelines right here, you qualify for a loan. Whether you are a citizen or a legal immigrant, a legal alien. So the job report came out and says 800,000 less jobs than reported. A lot of people like to say whatever they want to say, but it's the way that they do these job reports is that they go around asking random people in general, are they working, all that kind of stuff. And the issue with asking random people in general, because you don't know which person is an actual citizen and which person is a legal immigrant. They're not asking them those questions. So a lot of those jobs that are counted in the job report can also be accounting for illegal immigrants. The government's CPS, which stands for Current Population Survey, says members of the general public each month, whether they are working, looking for work, or neither working nor looking for work. That's really all they're asking the general public. But they're not asking, are you illegal, or are you not, or are you an American citizen? Let me pull this up for you so you can see it for yourself. So this is from the labor statistics, and going down right here, it says it is likely that both surveys include, this is for undocumented immigrants counting in surveys. It is likely that both surveys include at least some undocumented immigrants. However, neither the establishment nor the household survey is designed to identify the legal status of workers. So there you go. So the job numbers also include undocumented immigrants. So those 12 million current undocumented immigrants can also be being included in those job numbers. And a lot of people, when I first heard this, it seemed crazy. When they were started saying that the administration was flying in illegal immigrants, undocumented immigrants, back into the U.S. after they were deported. So the issue with that is, under Trump, they were deporting, I think it's I'm not saying this is right, Cameroonians out of the U.S. And then so when Biden got in office and they overturned a bunch of Trump's immigration stuff, they brought the Cameroonians back. So I'm going to pull that. So that's what they were talking about when referring to flying illegals back into the U.S., busing illegals back into the U.S. A lot of times they're busing them from different entry points and dropping them off from Chicago, Detroit, New York, Texas. I'm going to pull up one more thing for you guys. So this is talking about, this is from the Washington Free Beacon. The decision to fly back the previous deported Cameroonians is the latest instance of Biden's administration reversing its immigration initiatives. On his first day in office, President Joe Biden rolled back a number of former President Donald Trump's border policies and paused the southern border wall construction. Biden later ended a policy that forced asylum seekers to wait in Mexico before their court hearings, which critics blame for the sharp uptick in illegal border crossings. So all of this goes to show that the Biden and Harris's administration overturned a bunch of Trump's policies, allowing the flow of millions and millions of illegal immigrants into the country, who took our jobs, our low-wage jobs, from people who are barely getting by. They work these jobs for minimum wage or even less than minimum wage. And they're sending the money back to where they came from. This is Wesley Brown from Mr. Wesley Brown. You're watching the Brown Notes Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. This is a new YouTube channel, so I got tons of videos coming. So I thank you for tuning in for this long, and I hope to see you again. Peace.